What is this? Is this real? Is he serious? Arguably the face of mythical racism when it comes to the world of sports, one of the leading deacons at Woke United Methodist. Hell, he might have even received a promotion. He might have been promoted from Brother Smith to Pastor Smith. Can't confirm the accuracy of that statement. It's been quite a while since I've disguised myself and covertly attended Sunday morning services at Woke United Methodist. To be honest with you, after they fired Father Jalen Rose and went with a panel of rotating guest preachers, I just kind of lost interest in going. But part of me wasn't all that surprised to see Stephen A. Smith defending Megyn Kelly, but part of me was a little bit surprised. I think Stephen A. Smith is one of the most fascinating personalities in the mainstream media. When we discuss other purveyors of mythical racism, the wicked weave of the woke Joy Reid, the beautiful O face of Jemele Hill, also known here on the channel as Smelly Gemelly, Karen Phillips at Deadspin. When I see headlines about these people, before I even read the article, I pretty much already know that I'm going to disagree with them. Karen destroyed the life of a defenseless, innocent child by accusing the kid of not liking minorities. The sisters in Woke, Double J, Joy, and Jemele, they exploit their own community for their own personal gain. No longer working out for Jemele Hill, though. Like Sports Illustrated, the business of mythical racism damn near bankrupt. Joy Reid's the only remaining survivor, but with Stephen A. Smith, it's different. The reason I think he is fascinating is because sometimes I agree with him, and other times I think Stephen A's lost his damn mind. I like that though. That's how it's supposed to work. We're not always supposed to agree. The reason I respect Stephen A. Smith, he is open to opposing viewpoints. He's open to disagreement, and he doesn't take it personally. I don't know his political affiliations. I would assume he's either an independent like myself, or more than likely Stephen A. is a Democrat, but he's one of very few Democrats that most normal people can find common ground with. Stephen A. Smith doesn't support defunding the police. Matter of fact, when he appeared on Fox News last year with Jesse Waters, he claimed to support stricter enforcement of laws. He's not a supporter of Donald Trump. Orange Man bad! But to my knowledge, Stephen A. Smith doesn't really demonize the Trumper like some of his other pretend friends in the mainstream media. Now sure, Stephen A. will tell Howard Stern how he fantasizes about eating the orange in a debate, but he doesn't create fictional stories like, I don't know, the illusion of Russian collusion just to make the orange appear less tasteful. The point is, there are some areas where I'm in total agreement with Stephen A. Smith. However, one area where I'm usually in complete disagreement with Stephen A. is when we're dealing with mythical racism. Which is why I was somewhat surprised when I saw Stephen A. Smith coming to the defense of Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly was one of the 123 million people who were watching the Super Bowl on Sunday night. And by the way, I know Roger Goodell and the NFL, along with the media, I know they're excited about this record-breaking Super Bowl. As a fan of the NFL, I don't know if these record ratings for the Super Bowl and the record ratings for the playoffs, I don't know if this is a good thing for NFL fans. I've been thinking a lot about this since last night when the ratings were released. We might get into this tomorrow morning, and I'll break down what I mean. We'll see. But anyway, Megyn Kelly, she's watching the Super Bowl Sunday night. Just like the rest of us, she was confused when she heard, and now, performing the Black National Anthem, Grammy Award-winning singer Andra Day. I'm sure she was confused because she didn't know who Andra Day was. But Megyn Kelly was also confused because she was under the illusion that we only had one national anthem. She sent out the following tweet to express her confusion. I happen to agree with Megyn Kelly. We already have a national anthem that includes everyone. The only thing accomplished by playing the Black National Anthem is segregating the Black community from everyone else, which is ironic when you think about it. The media celebrates Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders for fighting for desegregation. Fast forward 60 or 70 years later, that same media pressures the NFL to play the Black National Anthem, which influences segregation. Make it make sense. Yesterday on her show on SiriusXM, Megyn Kelly, she doubled down on her disgust with the NFL. Megyn Kelly said the same thing that I said yesterday here on the channel, calling Lift Every Voice and Sing the Black National Anthem and presenting it to the public in this context is divisive. It's the definition of divisive. The NFL was literally dividing people based on race. Like I said yesterday, I don't think most people would have a problem with Lift Every Voice and Sing if the NFL presented it differently. America the Beautiful was also performed before the real national anthem. I think it was performed by Moses Malone or Post Paul. I don't know, who cares? It doesn't matter what his name is. The guy who hides his face behind all those tattoos. If the NFL presented America the Beautiful as the national anthem, most people would have the same problem. The problem is not Lift Every Voice and Sing. The problem is calling it the Black National Anthem. I think most normal people of all races can agree with Megyn Kelly. Not the wanker spankers on social media, though. No. The spankers, along with their representatives in the woke media, they charged Megyn Kelly with a violation of the first woke commandment. Thou shalt not commit mythical racism. This commandment is very vague by design. I mean, almost anything can be a violation. For example, newborn baby is born and the doctor checks Caucasian on his birth certificate. According to deacons at Woke United Methodist, that child was born into inherent racism. Spike, the annoying kid that lives next door, he goes to the ice cream truck and selects vanilla instead of chocolate ice cream. That is another violation of the first woke commandment. In the case of Megyn Kelly, she was in direct violation because she had the audacity to speak up and say America only has one national anthem. Headline at the root: Megyn Kelly makes racist comment about Black national anthem. Headline at salon.com: Megyn Kelly gets roasted for complaining about inclusion of Black national anthem. You noticed how they went out of their way to make sure the woke boner word inclusion was in their headline? Obviously, there was nothing racist about what Megyn Kelly said, but the shit fucks, they never let facts get in the way of pushing their agenda. Historically, Stephen A. Smith, he tends to lean on the side of mythical racism, but with Megyn Kelly, Stephen A. actually came to her defense. Watch it for yourself.
I'm sick and tired of folks out there, particularly in the Black community, being so quick to throw out the word racism. When you throw out the word racism, do me a favor. Have more evidence before you do it so it can't be dismissed via plausible deniability or something else. I don't know Megyn Kelly at all. I don't find her statement to be racist. I find it to be, in her eyes, patriotic. I find it to be, in her eyes, self-righteous. I find her to be a bit detached from reality being faced by Black Americans everywhere. I got that part. But I can't go in the way that I wanted to go in about her when people are out there from my community just throwing out the word racist. You don't know that about her. And when you say something like that, you dilute the potency and the importance of the argument. I don't expect white people to have the sensibilities of Black people. I don't expect somebody white to get it.
Let me tell you why I think Stephen A. Smith is upset about this. Now, this is just me speculating here. I have never met Stephen A. Smith. The reason I think he's calling this out is because the word racism has lost a lot of its meaning. False accusations like this against Megyn Kelly are the primary reason why. I can only speak for myself here, but when I see the media accuse someone of racism, I am automatically skeptical about it. When I'm reading the article, I'm looking for any falsehoods. I'm looking for ways for it to potentially not be true. There have been so many fabricated stories of racism, it makes it harder to believe when there is a case of real racism. This is the reason that law enforcement cracks down on women who falsely accuse men of sex crimes. Their false accusations make it incredibly difficult for real victims to come forward because they're afraid that no one is going to believe them. The mainstream media has accused so many people or organizations of mythical racism, people no longer take it seriously. And look, Even though Stephen A. Smith was right to defend Megyn Kelly, that doesn't mean he hasn't been part of the problem in the past. How many times have we seen Stephen A. accuse the NFL of conspiring against black head coaches? Remember last year when the Texans fired Lovie Smith? Stephen A. claimed that a black man should never take a job in Houston because they set black head coaches up for failure. D'Amico Ryans takes the job, leads the Texans on a deep run through the playoffs. All of a sudden, Stephen A. Smith forgets about his story of mythical racism. Hell, just a week or two ago, he was accusing the Washington football team of mythical racism. Why? Because they hired Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator. Yeah. I mean, the mythical racism in the NFL has been so depleted that Stephen A. Smith is now complaining about the hiring of an offensive coordinator. So don't get me wrong here. Stephen A. has definitely been part of the problem, but that doesn't mean that he's not right in his defense of Megyn Kelly. Even though he is defending her against a problem that he helped create, at least he's defending her. And look, maybe Stephen A. Smith is right. As a white man, maybe I don't understand the importance to black people when it comes to lift every voice and sing. I damn sure don't understand calling it the Black National Anthem, but how will I ever understand it if you accuse me of being a racist just because I question it? The second you accuse someone of mythical racism, you lose. There is absolutely no evidence proving Megyn Kelly is racist. The only thing they could come up with to kind of prove their point, I guess, was comments that Megyn Kelly made 6 years ago, where she claimed that when she was a child, a white girl dressing up as Tina Turner or Diana Ross for Halloween wasn't considered to be racist, or vice versa. A young black man dressing up as Vanilla Ice wasn't considered to be racist, whereas today, you're not allowed to do that. Megyn Kelly, 6 years ago, she was simply asking why. And for asking that simple question, she was accused of being a racist. Credit to Stephen A. Smith, though, for coming to her defense. He didn't have to do that. Maybe, just maybe, Stephen A. Smith is starting to come around. You tell me, give me your thoughts. Megyn Kelly is accused of racism because she questioned the playing of the Black National Anthem at the Super Bowl. Stephen A. Smith comes to her defense. This is why I find Stephen A. so fascinating. He does things like this where I feel like he finally gets it, but who knows? Who knows? Next week, he could be mad at the NFL because they don't have 32 black head coaches. Let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.